Respect to all the staff and all the production crew that made these K-pop award shows possible. So fancy, everybody's getting trophies and the performances, the stages, they're on fire. But do you know what is happening behind the stage? I've been on a labor trip to a certain K-pop award show. I won't be mentioning the exact name of it because I don't want to get sued or anything. But before we go on to the video, I just want to sum this video in one word. No, actually 3 words. Blood, sweat, and tears. And yes, before we go on, I know you guys are dying to know whether I met BTS or talked to them. What happened behind the stage? Well, I'll tell you one thing. I did say hi to one of the members. I smelled their perfume. I heard what they were casually talking. I saw them rehearse. And not only BTS. So if you're willing to know that backstage behind the story, you should continue watching it till the end because I left the juicy part out for the end because people are gonna skip the important parts with the parts that actually matter. This video is about the blood, sweat, and tears of the staff, not me meeting artists and stuff. I will include these kind of stories in the bag, so please just go through this whole video even if it's a little bit long. I guarantee it will be interesting. I have devoted 1 week of my life, hard labor. It was seriously very tiring. I'm still exhausted. I think I've been on a mission, like a journalism mission, in order to get all the essences and the backstage stories for you guys, exclusively only for DKDK TV subscribers and viewers. Well, actually the preparation of the award show itself can be divided into 3 parts, and those are number 1, transportation, 2, accommodation, and 3, backstage. So these 3 are the core experiences and stories I'm gonna tell you in this video, and let's start with transportation first, because this role was the role I was directly engaged with. You guys might already think, oh, transportation, what's a big deal about that? But it is a huge deal. So first of all, literally transportation means a person transferring from this point to that point. Easy, simple, right? For artists and for K-pop award shows, transportation is one of the most important and crucial things that has to be solved and that has to be provided. I'll give you a brief walkthrough of how this transportation deal works. So first of all, in order for the artists like BTS to participate in these K-pop award shows, they have to fly from their own countries. The artists depart from their own country to, let's say, Hong Kong or Japan. That stage is up to the management company, the entertainment company. For BTS, it would be Big Hit. Their management company takes their vans to take the artists to the airport, and they just walk through the airport, and everybody like airport is a public area, so they cannot avoid inspections because it's under the law. But when they arrive, then it gets trickier. As soon as the artist lands on ground, they're not even outside of the airplane is not even connected. There are a bunch of people that are simultaneously moving. First of all, there is one person standing in front of the airport billboard or status board, checking if the artists have landed or not. The staff of the award shows have all of the info on which flight the artists are gonna take. So let's say it's CX412. One person in front of the gate is looking at the status billboard, checking whether the airplane has landed or not. As soon as that status changes from ready for arrival to landed, immediately this person has the duty to text in the group chat that BTS has arrived, BTS has landed CX412. And then simultaneously there's an HQ, headquarters. This is usually stationed in a fixed area like a hotel room or in the airport or whatever. And the HQ receives this text via group chat, and then this HQ spreads that text to each spot managers. For my case, I would be the vehicle manager, be a delivery manager. I'll tell you what this is later. And third, there will be a hotel manager. And then immediately the spot managers get busy. They have to get ready. For example, for a vehicle manager, every artist is allocated to 1 van each. Like for example, if it's BTS, there's like 7 members, so you'll have to split them into 2 vans or 1 van or something. So we have an Excel sheet of which artists are going to participate in the award show and how many members are participating and how many staff are coming with them. As soon as I receive the text that the artist has landed on the ground, I would have to go to the driver and the parking lot to get the vehicles ready to go for the artist to directly and immediately get on the van and go off to the hotel or the venue to rehearse. So after the artist lands on the ground, they don't come out with all the other people. In the first place, the artists all take business or first class. I've never seen any artist this time that hasn't taken first class or business. They get a head start from the plane, they get out first, they go directly to a separate route, which is not the ordinary passenger route. The immigration and wait for our baggage in the belt, then get out from the gates, right? That's normal procedure. For artists, this is not the case, and there's a thing called a VIP route. The difference of this route is that it's way more private and it's way shorter and it's way quicker in procedure. So what happens is the artists get right off the plane, and then there are guards, security guards, right in front of the plane waiting for these artists. Now the security guards vary in numbers by the size of the groups. So for example, if it's 17, there's a lot of people, so there might be like 5 or 6 guards. For like single artists, there might be only like 1 or 2 guards. But anyways, you can see the security guards that are waiting in front of the plane to fetch the artist. And then the security guards lead the artist to the VIP counter, the VIP immigration check. We call it the face check. These artists have already done all their identification checks, their passport checks, and everything before they have even landed. They have done it through their managers and their companies before they've actually arrived into the country. So all they have to do is do the face check. It's either done manually by person or there's an automatic machine. So these machines scan the artist with a face check, and if the info matches the info that was previously sent, they're good to go. There's like only one procedure for the artist to go through because they've already done all the processes prior to their arrival. This is not because they're special people or they're better than us, they're rich. It's to prevent chaos in the airport. You know what would happen if you just let artists mix up with the public in the airport. Like, they wouldn't even able to go through the immigration because of the fans like surrounding them and taking pictures and stuff. So these VIP routes are needed. When the artists are done with the face check, they once again take this secret path that is not open and revealed to the public. And these secret routes are very hidden, and I cannot disclose this info about where these routes are located, but I did go through these secret routes, and I will tell you, it's very complicated. They have to follow the security guard and take a left here and go through the emergency exit and go up one stair and go through a very old tunnel. At the end, these routes are secret, but the exits are quite revealed to the fans. It's usually a fire emergency exit or something. It's pretty easy to see because they prepare security guards before they come out, so like you just have to follow the security guards to know where the emergency exit is. Funny happening that happened this year was that 101 arrived before BTS. Of course, there were so many fans waiting for 101, and they already knew where the emergency exit was. Fans were all like gathered around the emergency exit, and they saw 101 come out and get into the van. But after that, it was BTS's turn, and all the armies believed that BTS would come out from the same emergency exit because there were barricades and guards, so they obviously thought BTS was gonna exit from that point. But it was a decoy, it was fake. I'm not supposed to disclose the details of all these operations and all these procedures, but one thing I can say is that the crew, the staff, put extra caution this year for BTS's security and their path. At least there was double more attention for security for BTS. You know, their reputation is so high, they just need that level of security. So what happened is when BTS actually came out, it was from another door that was like 50 meters away, and then all the fans started to run towards that door, and there were also fans at that door at the moment, but those were the lucky fans that had a sense that, oh, maybe BTS wouldn't come out from the same door as 101. But I felt really bad for the fans that were lining up at 4 a.m., 3 a.m. to wait for these artists, to see them for 5 seconds. The members come out from the door, they step into the van, that's it. When the artists are doing their Mission Impossible mission through the VIP exit and the secret tunnel, people like us, the staff, like the vehicle managers, have to be double checking whether the vehicle is the right one that is allocated for that particular artist. I've seen more than 100 vehicles for both artists and staff. Each vehicle has each designated driver who knows where he has to go, where the destination is. So all of these metadatas and infos are listed on the charts. So our job is to correctly assign each fan and driver to each artist so that they do not get lost. And also in each car there is a translator, of course, if it's a foreign country, because the artist can make random or spontaneous requests to the drivers, like, can I stop for the bathroom, or can we go to a restaurant first because I'm starving, like these kind of stuff. There's always a translator sitting next to the driver driver in the van. So when the artists come out of the exit, the van is already there with the door open. So all the artists have to do is walk 5 steps and they'll go inside the van. So that is how the whole procedure works. Is it the end here? No, it is not the end. The staff has more managers, the CEOs, the stylists, every single person, all of them need transportation too. So it's even harder for staffs because they all come out at once. We cannot keep track of the staffs, whether they're coming out or not. For example, this time BTS brought so many dancers and so many staff, stylists. Our job is basically being a shepherd for these people, to take the herd of people to the right place in the airport and get them in the right car and get them to the right hotel or place they want to go. So it's a really complicated process, and it seems simple when I'm just explaining it like this, but you get so overwhelmed when all these customers suddenly come into your door and they order this and that, and this person is complaining about that. So like this happens all simultaneously. Oh, but one fun fact. Actually, there were some artists that took the ordinary route, not the VIP route, actually walked to the car park, and they were mostly hip-hop artists. I don't know what it is for hip-hop artists. I think they voluntarily, intentionally wanted to do that because that's swag or something. I have no idea, but anyways, the hip-hop artists did not go through the VIP route. They just came out the ordinary route, and then they just walked themselves to the car park and got on the vehicle. So it was pretty cool to see them. 감사합니다, 안녕하세요, and then they just get on the vehicles and just drove away. And second, let's talk about the accommodation. Accommodation is pretty short and pretty easy. So basically, the artists stay in one hotel, and the actors stay in one hotel, and the staff stays in one hotel. I don't know what it is for the actors. The actors got a lot of special care during this job. They got their own car, opportunity to go around. Idols, they were basically given no freedom. They were just trapped in the hotel. They just couldn't leave the hotel, and they were all stuck in one hotel. For the accommodation, it varies case by case. There's a big group like 17, let's say, or 101. They couldn't all stay in one floor next to each other. It had to be split into separate rooms. I heard for BTS this year, for security and safety issues, they were assigned a single floor all for themselves. So for a K-pop fan, if you were to step inside this hotel, it would be pretty much like a Disneyland or a fantasy world for you, because like all these artists are walking around without any makeup or without any fancy clothes. They're all in like their tracksuits or training pants, and they're just like all casually walking around and saying hi to each other and talking to each other. And of course, for every artist's room, before the artist enters the room, the security goes in and does a security check for any hidden cameras or any dangerous stuff that might be hidden inside the room, like for example a stalker or whatever. The artists are basically free to do whatever they want in the hotel room, so I think that's a very positive thing, and it's a pretty chill environment. I was actually staying in the place where the staff was staying. I got to see all the dancers of Sunmi, Chungha, and 101, BTS. I could recognize some people. But one funny thing was, after the whole performance and the award ceremony, BTS was so busy. So BTS didn't have time to go to the after party or anything, so they had to depart right away. It was right after they've performed, so they were very sweaty. So who wants to go on a plane with a sweaty body, right? So they actually rented a room just for a couple of hours to take a shower in our hotel for a moment. But what happened was that info that BTS was gonna take a shower at our hotel just spread suddenly. This was so creepy and crazy. When I got out of my room, in the corridor, there was this one girl wearing a Tata band, hairband, walking back and forth. And that was just so creepy. She was asking every single maid who was cleaning the room, like I could see she was trying to find out where they were gonna take a shower or whatever. The scary part was I went to the lobby to buy a beverage or something, and it went up. It took like 15 minutes or something, but when I came up, she was still there and she was still roaming through the corridors. And when I was coming up the elevator, we need a card key to access the floors, and there were these random people on the elevator waiting for me to put the card key in, and I put my card key in and pressed my floor. And then these people just suddenly pressed their floor too. And yes, they had BT21 items in their hands. I guess the whole hotel was like that. And in the lobby, I don't even have to explain. But seriously, staff shouldn't leak this kind of information for the artist. And at the end, I don't know if it was because of this reason particularly, because like fans were roaming through the hotels, but at the end, eventually BTS just decided not to go to the hotel to take a shower. So it's pretty crazy and it's pretty creepy. And finally on to the juicy part of the backstage. I know you guys been waiting for this part only. The backstage part is pretty interesting. We can divide it into the red carpet part and the actual pre-ceremony part. So the red carpet part is basically preparing for the red carpet. There's a red carpet where the actors and the artists will all walk on and do like the red carpet interviews and stuff. But that is actually done in a complicated procedure as well. The artists come from their hotels, from their rehearsal places, on the van that I've assigned them to. They come through the parking lot, which is located in a restricted area behind the actual venue, behind the stage, and they all wait in line behind the parking lot. Like, some people might think when they do the red carpet ceremonies, it's just like spontaneously receiving these artists, coming one by one from their hotels each. It's not like that. There's a schedule. There's a schedule of which artist is gonna come on the red carpet at this time and what kind of interview this person is gonna do. So it's all scheduled. All the artists are in standby condition behind the parking lot in the restricted area. So they're all in line waiting for their turn to enter the red carpet. One interesting fact is that another special treatment for actors, but the actors actually arrive in vans and then they transfer from the vans to a limousine that is prepared at the parking lot in the restricted area, and they go on the limo and the limo takes them to the red carpet. For idols, I don't think it's possible within the budget because there's so many people and they cannot fit in one single limo. I was actually opening the doors for all the actors to get inside their limos and making sure that all the vehicles were in order and that one vehicle did not get out of line. This part is also like a fantasy world for a K-pop fan because it's like totally behind the scenes. Similar to the hotel situation, in this restricted area, artists are like smoking and talking to each other. Like, for example, huge actors are just like casually talking to each other, like smoking with each other. Like, the managers and the stylists are doing their final checks in front of the limousines or the vans. Everyone's just there. It's just amazing for a K-pop fan myself. I was being professional, of course, like I was doing my job, but like I took glimpses of what's happening and it was just like crazy. So anyways, after the whole preparation for the red carpet, they just go one by one in order and they do what they have to do, like do the interviews and say hi to the people in front of the red carpet. After that, the red carpet session is over. And then we move to what we call the real backstage. The backstage refers to the waiting rooms and the literal back of the stage, the back of the stage where it's very dark and all the staffs are going around and changing clothes and getting ready for the props and stuff. The backstage is pretty crazy too. I had a backstage pass which is given to the staff and it's like an all pass for every restricted area you want to go to. I checked out the waiting area and in this part, all the stylists, all the makeup artists, all the managers, all the artists are all inside this one big area and they have like partitions. They have like sections for each artist. In this area, you can just basically hear what all the artists are talking about. So I could just walk around and observe what was happening, and like the distance between me and BTS was like this, and I could hear every single thing they were saying. I could even smell their fragrance and it smelled good. I shouldn't be giving out these kind of private infos, but one thing I can say is that they were just normal humans. Like, they weren't talking about anything special, but they were just talking about like ordinary things. And it was pretty cute. Like, it was pretty cute to hear them joking around. They were super happy. Younger members were making fun of the older members. It was pretty funny. And yeah, when all of the members were getting ready for the actual stage and actually moving to the stage, I was so frozen I couldn't do anything. I was hoping inside that someone would notice me, but for sure, like, they were surrounded by so many people and they were like memorizing their lines and stuff. They would have noticed a random staff standing right next to them, right? So like, of course nobody noticed me, but at the end, like, J-Hope was the last one to walk past me and he was like very chill and he was just walking by, and then he and I had eye contact and I was like, and then he was like, he just smiled and like and passed by. I would consider that as a high. And then they moved to the waiting room to the backstage, and then Tae was just walking so slowly, like at the end of the line and with his red hair. It was just crazy to see that. Like, I really wanted to film some stuff and share it with you guys, but first of all, as a staff, I had a duty, I had to be professional. And second, as a true ARMY myself, I didn't want to leak any of their private conversations or their private moments, because that is just like, no. So I didn't film any of them in the private section, like the waiting rooms or the backstage. But because of the credibility of this video, some people might be saying that this guy might be making up everything. Here you go. I'm sure you can't even screen cap that. It was just amazing to see them that up close. I also saw 101 and 17 going past me right after BTS, and they were super well-mannered and humble because BTS was quite busy, so they were passing by quite fast. But 17 and 101, they were quite chill, and they were just passing by, but literally they were bowing down and saying 안녕하세요, 안녕하세요 to every single staff that was there. And then I followed the artist to the actual literal backstage behind the actual stage. It was so amazing there because I could actually see all the artists, you know, like casually talking to each other, saying like are you ready for your performance? Like I'll look forward to your performance. Wow, look at your outfit, it looks sick. Those kind of conversations were going around. BTS and 101, someone was hugging each other. The most impactful thing I saw behind the backstage was like as soon as I went to the backstage area, I saw this girl in a white tank top like twerking the shit out of her body, like she was dancing like crazy, and I realized it was Cha and she was getting ready for her solo performance. I was like, whoa, what is that? And she was literally right here like dancing the shit, and wow, I was like, oh. And about the procedure of the backstage, honestly speaking, I don't know a lot about the backstage procedure of how the performances and how the cue signs go out, because that is the role of the actual workers of the show. Writers or the TV producers and those kind of people give orders and requests to the artists which time they should go on stage and those kind of stuff. It's super busy, by the way. It's super busy. It's super packed. It's like a marketplace. Like you have all the dancers in their costumes, their outfits, like people are dancing and rehearsing. And that's basically it about the K-pop award shows, like what the staff goes through. I might have a limitation on expressing how hard the whole process is. I think I've thoroughly covered the transportation part or the accommodation. I was a little bit weak on the backstage, but I can assure you that the whole process and the whole preparation of these award shows are just crazy, and they actually drive the people crazy too. Like there was this time I couldn't sleep for 48 hours. And it's not an exaggeration because like these artists choose to come at 3 a.m., 5 a.m., one comes at 10 a.m. and I just had to skip meals, I couldn't get sleep, I was running around the airport, double checking the vehicles, assigning them to these artists and that artist, and it was just crazy. And I'm sure the hotel crew was like that too, and everyone was just going crazy. At the end, we were just so tired and exhausted, we were just like dying. Huge respect to every person who has prepared this whole K-pop awards show. After the whole show, it's pretty much easy. All you have to do is take the artists to the airport and send them off on an airplane. In this procedure as well, there is a VIP route. All they have to do is get off the van from the VIP route, go up the elevator, and there's this short passage where they have to go through the gate, and that short passage is where the fans are like clustered together, like getting ready to take pictures of that 1 second while the artists pass that pathway. The managers of the artists actually come before their flights, like 3 hours before, and meet us, and we take them to the airline counters. They bring all of the members' passports, and I personally got to see like Twice and Yunmin의 우주소녀. Yeah, I couldn't see BTS's passports, but like all of those artists' passports, like I was actually holding them and delivering them to the VIP point. I actually saw like Sun's like passport. I didn't do anything weird with it. I swear I didn't take a picture of it or anything. She looked good in the passport too. So that's basically it. And to give you like a brief impression, like number one, it was hell of a time in both ways, because it was hell for me physically and mentally to actually pull through the whole procedure. The amount of labor and workload is just overwhelming for a single person, but it was just 1 week. I have a friend who actually works in the host company of this award show, actual employee of the company, and he himself said he has prepared this show for 2 months and he has not gotten home before 11 p.m. every single day. The whole amount and effort these employees and staff input into these award shows is just amazing. It's just blood, sweat, and tears itself. Other than that, it was just an amazing, mind-blowing, and outstanding experience for me. Like, people in the comments on Instagram are saying like, David is living his life. You are the ultimate successful fan, like Songdog. I know, I am, because like it's been like a dream, like seeing all these people just in the wild in front of you, just seeing their natural moments. I would say they're pretty much the same. Some people are bitchy. One part of it that was so good was that I stay in a 5-star hotel for free and get all the breakfast for free. I got free tickets round trip from Korea to that place. On the last day I had like 8 hours of free time, so I went into the city and explored the city by myself, ate delicious food. So like, how good of a job is this, you know? Like, you get paid. The pay isn't that much. I didn't even consider the pay because the experience more value to me. So I didn't even know the pay, but the pay is just like sufficient. And to be honest, to wrap this video up, I know there's a lot of armies watching this video. I know you guys would be so jealous. BTS doesn't seem that far from me now. Like, I've seen them up close so many times now. Like, if you accumulate it into time, it would be like MGAs. Go check out our MGA vlog. But even then, BTS was right in front of my nose and like in my eyesight for a couple of hours. And this time I was just like literally next to them, like standing next to them and hearing what they were saying. So that's just crazy. So like, they feel like very, you know, familiar people now. Like, I've been watching them for like 2 years in reactions, and now I'm even actually seeing them. And in the future, I hope I'll be able to actually talk to them and interact with them as human beings. And about the speech they did, it was very sad but also touching and inspirational, so I wish the best of them. So yeah, that's it for my video, and I hope you enjoyed my whole experience. I think I could melt in every single detail of my whole experience in this one video because like I was quite rambling without any order and I didn't have a script or anything. Like, if I have the opportunity in the future, I might do a live stream and go into detail of what I saw and stuff like that. I was trying my best not to get sued in this video. I was trying to be vague and broad as possible, so please understand that point. And in the future as well, I'll be trying to pursue these kind of opportunities once more, like the MGAs or meeting Seungri or meeting BTS this time in backstage, all these kind of stuff. And I post all of them on my Instagram stories, so go follow me on Instagram and go subscribe to DKDK TV. Join our Patreon. I give out exclusive information like that is not included in this video on the group chat. So go check out our Patreon. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.